What's up, y'all? What up, man? It's the Sports Mix. Big Kenny, man. Checking in. So, I got a couple minutes today. I had some stuff on my mind. So I'm driving, so if y'all making comments, I may not be able to see them. But, yeah, I just want to talk about these Ravens fans, man. So of course, the season is over. Season over. We lost, last week in the playoffs. In the playoffs, no doubt. Season over. But I did something today I usually don't do, and that's commented on some stuff on the Baltimore Ravens Facebook page. Usually don't do that. I usually just kind of read it, kind of read the comments. I usually laugh at a lot of the comments and keep it pushing. But I guess I had some time today while I was working, so I made a comment on the first post. Two posts that I watched today. So the first one was they put up the opponents for the 2023 season, not the schedule, just the opponents. They just put up the list of teams that they're gonna be playing and where they're gonna be playing them at. So the home games and the away games for next year. All right, that's pretty standard. They do that every year this time. Already, you got fans that's talking about the Ravens gonna go 9-8, 10-7, 8-7, like whatever. Already, they telling you what the record's going to be based off, I guess, what they feel like they seen this year. Now, they don't know what the Ravens team going to look like next year. It's going to be some movement. They're going to have some draft picks. It's going to be some new players. It's going to be some re-signing. Some of the players that's here not going to be here next year. We don't know what the team going to look like. So we can't say what they're going to be or what they're not going to be. That's the first thing. Second thing, other teams going to make moves too. You know what I'm saying? Every team is going to make moves, and you won't know what team's going to look like until, September. Of course, there'll be some movement, free agency, whatever. But, we won't know until summertime, really, what these teams going to look like. So that was the first thing. Second thing, well, that drove home a point that I made a while back on one of the shows we did when we was talking about the NFL, and that is, the NFL got the greatest marketing machine of all pro sports. I bet. So they got the greatest marketing of any pro sports league. They got fans engaged 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You know what I'm saying? Football got a monopoly on fan involvement, man. I don't see no other sport they got their fans wrapped up like this. And that's what I'm trying to get the sports mix. I'm trying to get y'all 365, 24/7, talking about the sports mix. Coming up on here and watching my content. Shit, why not? But let me get to my next point. So the second post that they had, they put the schedule up. So there was an article. I didn't even get to read the article. But the article said that the Ravens team is and I think they were talking about Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh was saying this team is closer to being a championship team than people may think. If you are not an emotional fan and you watch what's happening and you look at the things that's going on around the team, that's not hard to see. You know what I'm saying? But again, that all depends on how you look at this particular team. You know, we are a fan base divided, number one, because half of us aren't sold on the quarterback. And there's another half that are, but then there's people that don't believe that like they want to keep Lamar around, but they don't want him to get paid. They don't want him to get paid the big quarterback money. You know what I'm saying? That's not my business. You know, whatever you want to get Lamar payday wise, get yours. I don't really care. I could care less. But I like Lamar as the quarterback of this team. If you look at the record, they win more than they lose with him at the quarterback position. You know, whether you like him or not, that can't be denied. He's a winner. Now, you know, they're gonna continually move the goal line is gonna get moved every time when they come up. You know what I'm saying? So that's expected. I expect the goal line to be moved. I expect people to be wishy-washy with him. When he up, everybody on him. When he not so up, people got a lot of a lot of stuff to say about him. And at the end of the day, I mean, Lamar hadn't really played bad. Like he hadn't played terrible. You know what I'm saying? He got injured. All right, he playing football. Football is injuries happen. Is he injury prone? Yeah, well, that's to be determined. You know what I'm saying? But so the article stated that the team is closer to being a championship caliber team than not, or than a lot of people think. I'm going in the comments. I'm reading the comments, and man, these Raven fans are terrible, man. Some of the most negative people. Some of the most negative people. And I made a comment. I made my comment, and a couple people responded to me saying that it's their right to criticize their team or whatever that they root for and they cheer for. And somebody told me that because y'all know if you know me, I always wear Oreo hats. And then of course in my profile picture I got an Oreo hat on. So God told me, basically if I don't like criticizing the Ravens, go stick with the Orioles. I had to let them know. I've been watching the Orioles. I've been an Oriole fan since about 1977, 76, 77. Back in that time, and I've been riding good, bad, or indifferent. You know what I'm saying? And it's been the same way with the Ravens. I've been a Ravens fan, pretty much since the beginning. And I ride with them, good, bad, or indifferent. Difference with me, what I'm saying? I'm just a fan. I don't get caught up in or get emotional. I don't get emotional about who should be fired and who should be let go and who this and who that. That's really. I mean, it's part of the argument. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this person ain't good or that person ain't good, whatever the case may be. I get all of that. But I don't lose no sleep. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about these coaches that we think need to be fired, people talk about John Harbaugh every year. His game management is terrible. And he don't do this right. And he don't do that right. The guy been the coach here 15 years. He's been to the playoffs, 10 of them. 10 out of the 15 years he's been to the playoffs. That ain't bad. Now, he got a Super Bowl, been to the AFC Championship a couple times. And since 2012 when he last won the Super Bowl, I don't know how many playoff victories he got. It ain't many, but he been to the playoffs a few times, and he been to the playoffs four of the last 5 years with Lamar as the quarterback. So, I mean, it's all in what your preference is, man. I like winning. I like winning more than losing. And I remember some years ago, I used to listen to a lot of sports talk radio, and Baltimore fans they were talking about the Orioles at the time, saying they would rather, get to the playoffs, be competitive every year, play competitive baseball every year, rather than, be sorry every year and this, that, and the other. And in my mind, I said, that's some bull. That's some bull, because if you're competitive every year, the fan in you gonna get tired of just being competitive. The fan in you gonna want to get over the hump and win. You know what I'm saying? The fan in you is always want to win. So, when fans say, we just want to be competitive, you say that when you sorry your shit every year. Excuse my language. When you sorry every year, you want to just be competitive. Well, now the Ravens, they are playoff team pretty much every year. So now the thing is, people saying, well, we don't want to be just complacent, and just get to the playoffs is not enough. You know what I'm saying? Just get to the playoffs every year is not enough. Now, I'm gonna just say this. I'd much rather have the Ravens track record of being competitive in the playoff hunt every year, rather than, say, the Cleveland Browns or the Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying? Teams that historically can't get out their own way. The New York Jets lately. You know what I'm saying? Teams that can't get out of their way. Some of them teams would die. Some of them fans would die to be in position that the Ravens are in. You know what I'm saying? Think about teams that don't have a quarterback. Right? We got a quarterback that's an MVP of the league. The players in the league seem to think he can play. It's ironic. The players that play against him every week, you know what I'm saying? The coaches that coach against that guy every week, they all seem to think he can play. They all seem to think he's, one of the most dangerous players in the league. But somehow the fans of that player, the fans of that team don't feel like he's the guy. They don't feel like he should get the money that he's asking for. And we don't even know how much money he's asking for. All we do is go by what's said. And more times than not, that stuff be wrong. But we continue to, we go with the speculation, and we go by what people saying that don't really have no inside information. It's all speculative, and people about their opinions more times than not. I've quoted it here before on Sports Mix, and I'll quote it here again. The late John Thompson, Coach John Thompson, on his radio show that used to come on in D.C., said, in the media and in general, when there's information that we seek and we don't find it, or we don't get it, or the information we get ain't up to what we thought we should be getting, they're gonna start making up stuff. You know what I'm saying? The information gonna start getting made up. And that's what happens a lot of times in sports, especially now with the social media and instant access. Everybody tweeting and Facebooking and putting information out via media. So now it's about getting to the people first. So, you know what I'm saying? People can put out reports every day. Don't have to be accurate. You know what I'm saying? We go put it out there, we go get some action, we see where this thing takes us. And so the truth don't matter no more. And that's in news in general, not just sports. That's in general. The truth don't matter. It's about who get the information out first. And so, you know, with sports, you hear so much negativity and as it relates to these and these players. And so they run with it and, until it's proven otherwise. Y'all got bad with me. I'm riding through some trees and back roads and stuff on the way home from work. But yo, we so thirsty and hungry for the information. We gonna take whatever information we get and run with it. A lot of times we don't do our homework with it. You know, I've been guilty of it. Sometimes I see something, I run with it. But a lot of times now, I try to be a little bit more responsible. I try to do some homework and figure out if what I'm putting out there is factual or not. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, I read this stuff, man. I get more entertainment out of the comments in these posts because people just be so tied up in their emotion, and they just believe what they say about every little thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't everybody cup of tea. I get it. John Harbaugh is not everybody cup of tea. Lamar Jackson is not everybody cup of tea. I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, this is who we have. And I just got a bad feeling that if for some odd reason the Ravens are not able to come to some kind of agreement with Lamar Jackson on the contract, I'm of the belief, you know, that it's going to set the organization back. And it's going to set us back in a major way. That's just my opinion. You know, you ain't got to believe that. You don't even have to like it. But that's just what I think. That's just how I feel about it. I feel like, you know, you got a quarterback, which is a hard position to fill. You know, look at some of the moves teams have made to secure a quarterback of the future. And a quarterback to at least make a 4 or 5 year run with. You know what I'm saying? Again, look in the division. You know, Joe Burrow is solidified himself. You know, he's been to the playoffs last couple years, Super Bowl last year. They in the AFC Championship this year. He's a quarterback, no doubt about that. No doubt about it. And the rumblings are Cincinnati is looking to extend him now. You know what I'm saying? They're looking to work on that extension now. The fact, in my opinion, the fact that the Ravens didn't extend Lamar Jackson after his MVP season. You know, after the MVP season, I would have started working on the extension at that point. Or at least talking about it. That would have been my strategy. Because it would have never got to this point. You know what I'm saying? And look at the money they could have saved. Look at the money they could have saved if they had took that approach. You know what I'm saying? If you start talking contract with that man 2-3 years ago, you're not in this predicament now. You're not in this predicament now. And all of that stuff is moot. It's not even a conversation to be had. We pushing forward. Right? We pushing forward. But this is the position that they're in. They're in this position now. It's of their own doing. Some people look at it and say, well, they weren't sold on Lamar. They weren't sold on him. Well, only the people inside that building at one winning drive know the answer to that. I don't know, but I believe if he was the guy, if he was your guy, you should have took that approach 2 or 3 years ago. Had him extended out for a few years, and we're not even in this predicament right now. It's not even a question or issue. But this is where we at. You know what I'm saying? This is where we at, and this is what we got to do. So, again, fans are torn on Lamar. Fans are torn on should John Harbaugh even be the coach. I saw a name, Eric Bieniemy, was mentioned. I don't know if the Ravens reached out to him for permission to interview. I just know that he was a name that's been thrown about. So people ask, well, why would he make a lateral move? Why would he leave Kansas City? The Chiefs of all, that they are always in the top 2 or 3 teams in the AFC in the last 4 or 5 years, since Patrick Mahomes have taken over as quarterback. Why would he leave that situation to come and be the offensive coordinator for the Ravens? Now, in the past, and we got an example that happened right here in Baltimore. If everybody remember back in the 2000, Marvin Lewis, he was the defensive coordinator of the 2000 defense, greatest defensive units ever. He was a man that wanted a head coaching job, and the excuse was at the time, where the Ravens was deep in the playoffs, and he didn't get any interviews because they were all, the Ravens were playing, whatever the case may be. And so they said it was Brian Billick in 2000, 2001, whatever, encouraged him to take a job with the Washington Redskins as their defensive coordinator. And he was also the associate head coach. So the logic there was you can't just offer him a lateral move. The move had to come with a title as well. Outside of just being the defensive coordinator, you had to make him like the assistant head coach or the associate head coach or something. So a guy like Eric Bieniemy, if he was to make a move from Kansas City as their offensive coordinator, if he was to go anywhere, even include, here to Baltimore, to become the offensive coordinator, the way I understand it is he would have to be offered another role with the team, like assistant head coach on top of that. So it's not just like he's making a lateral move. He coming over here with a little bit more responsibility, and that would increase, make his resume look a little better. When he's out there trying to get head coaching jobs in the future. Now, I'm gonna say this about Eric Bieniemy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know too much about his. I know he was a offensive. I know he was a football player. I know he was a running back. I know that about him. But he's an offensive coordinator on a team with one of the greatest offensive minds the game has ever seen, Andy Reid. So, really, how much coordinating is Eric Bieniemy doing? And this ain't a slight to Eric Bieniemy. This is a legitimate question. A guy like Andy Reid has a reputation, man, of being one of the greatest offensive minds this league has ever had. So my question, and again, I think it's a legitimate question. How good of an offensive coordinator is Eric Bieniemy? Really? You know what I'm saying? And maybe him wanting to take a job outside of the Kansas City Chiefs organization will be his opportunity to show that, hey, it's not just Andy Reid, and I know a little something about a little something too. Maybe that's the motive. I don't know, but if maybe he felt like he being held back, because he working under Andy Reid, and with Andy Reid having the reputation that he have as being an offensive genius, maybe people kind of holding their breath as it comes to when it comes to Eric Bieniemy. I don't know. It's just a thought. But so I don't even know why I brought him into this. You know what I'm saying? I'm just rambling now. But Bieniemy, I've seen his name, kind of thrown around as a possible offensive coordinator. And shit, I'd rather have Andy Reid. You know what I mean? I'm just keep it 100. I'm gonna just keep it 100. We'll see how much. You're going to see at some point he won't be working with Andy Reid, and you'll see what kind of offensive mind he has. Now, I'm also of the belief, and this goes for any sport. Great coaches. You can't be a great coach if you don't have good players. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a great coach. You can have great philosophies, and you can have X's and O's, and you can know this and that about the game, but if you don't have players that can execute, what's your reputation at that point? Talk to me. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. So, but that's my rant on him. I don't want to beat up Eric Bieniemy. I hope he get an opportunity to get a head coaching job at some point. Most guys in his position would have had a job by now. You know what I'm saying? Most people that's been coordinators for a team that's at the top of the league for a couple of years get an opportunity to be a head coach at some point. So I'm hoping that he get an opportunity. But back to these fans before I get up off here. Back to these Ravens fans. Yeah, you got a right to moan and groan and hoop and holler all you want. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can cry and call for people's jobs, and you know what I mean. Now we mediocre. That's what I hear now. The Ravens, we just settling for mediocrity. A perennial playoff team, but we mediocre now. You know what I mean? We just we just happy with just getting to the playoffs. We don't really care about winning in the whatever, man. Just whatever. Some of y'all emotional ass people, man. Y'all just get so wrapped up into the team. And the dude told me in the comments that I was the one that was out of pocket. Like, it's they like they not my family. That's not my family. Don't be so like I'm emotionally tied to it, bruh. I'm a fan. I'm gonna be a fan whether they win, lose, or draw. I ain't gotta like it. I ain't gotta like the losing. But I'm a fan either way. So I ain't wishy-washy. I don't support just when they win it. I support when they winning, when they losing. You know what I'm saying? I supported through the Kyle Bowler years, the Anthony Wright years, all them years when we had subpar quarterbacks. I was supporting. I supported. So, you know what I mean? And he tried to throw a shot at me because I had an Oriole hat on in my picture. And he's like, go support them. Yeah, I have been since 1977, and will be, win, lose or draw. That's how I roll. If I roll with you, I roll with you. I'm a Georgetown basketball fan. Georgetown, the beast of the East. You know what I'm saying? Big John and Big Pat and all them guys. Patrick Ewing is the head coach now. Georgetown is terrible. They haven't won a game in Big East Conference since the 2021 season. They went all last season without a win in conference, and they haven't won a game in conference this year. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a fan. I'm gonna ride with mine until they get it right. If they never get it right, I'm gonna be there. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am. That's how I get down with my teams that I support. But man, I don't know. I just felt the need, because I don't usually even comment on stuff like that. You know, I had some time today, so I made some comments on it, and they probably still commenting back at me. It's on the Baltimore Ravens Facebook page. You know, people's coming for me a little bit, but I had some time today. It was all good. It's all fun. I don't be tripping. But y'all leave me some comments, man. I'm about to sign off. Leave me some comments. Let me know what y'all think. What kind of fan are you? You know, y'all ready to jump off the boat? Do everybody need to get fired at the end of the year every year? You know, the offensive coordinator is gone. I know a lot of people was calling for his job all year, the last couple of years for real. So he gone. So, you know, now what's next? You know, what's the next thing y'all looking for as fans, man? You know, talk to me. So I appreciate y'all that tuned in. You know, if y'all made comments, I can't see them because I'm driving. But you know, we be back. I'll be coming back live again soon on the Sports Mix, man. Don't forget, y'all, to comment, like these videos, share the videos. If you're not following me on YouTube, look me up on YouTube at the Sports Mix 2021. You know, we on all things social: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Got a Facebook page, the Sports Mix 2021. Join the movement. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe. You know, show me some love that way. But leave me some comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about these Ravens fans, these emotional ass fans. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, and I will see y'all when I see y'all, man. Peace.